All right, guys. Hi everyone. Let me know if you hear me well and if you see me. I think so. I will wait a few more minutes before I start today. Before I start, I just wasn't here last week. I had to take some vacation. So here I came back fresh to start the Monday forecast with you for this week. There's going to be also, again, an interesting week. We all what's happening in still in Russia and Ukraine. Some COVID fear in China. Also there was French election yesterday that affected a little bit the euro. So we have like few titles to talk about, few subjects to interact and to share my ideas with you guys. And of course, if you have any other ideas, that we can even go forward with your idea. So don't hesitate to discuss on the chat with me. I will wait a few more minutes. And meanwhile, I will go to TradingView to show an interesting chart. Hi, Edward. Hi, Lomir. Hope you went well. Okay. Sun is shining here in Slovakia. Interesting. Yeah, I think summer is coming, guys. I hope so. I hope so. I don't like rainy and cloud. So hopefully we will see that. Something before. Okay. Let me share the screen. Okay, as usual, we talk about the dollar index that's still in the uptrend channel, as we see on the daily chart. If we go to the weekly, we'll see even better. Okay, so actually we are at the top of the channel. Okay, for people that already know how I think and how I imagine the market. I don't want to be the last guy to buy, and again, I want to think with investors that take part into the exchange and the market. And here, you know, the reward for being long on the dollar, even I still think maybe on the short term the dollar can be even stronger, because we see that the yield, the bond yield rise just before, so we see that the dollar came a bit stronger. You know, here is it's going to be very difficult for any trader to make a buy at that place. Okay, even when we are here on a big weekly supply that it's actually touched multiple times. And again, if we go to the H4, we see today that we are a little bit some of pullback. Okay, we see this was the first here pushing up with this type of consolidation zone. We have here the second one that created this morning and also last week. Okay, so we have this one. Maybe with a higher pattern of volatility. If I go to the H1, even we can see it even better here. Okay, the market is still here. We even you see, guys, that we had an overextended price action here. And also here we get back with a high gap. I think it was this morning actually. Yeah, it was this morning. You see the market opened with a gap down and cover all the gap down, all the gap down to the upside. And actually, again, you see generally on Monday the investors and even more in the London session, they want to to understand what's the sentiment in the market. They don't want to rush for doing any big position. So you see here big volatility, but still the market didn't took any decision. we are still at the 99.78 zone on the dollar index. You see that there is a big uptrend, but again, I want here, my interest will be to check when the market will probably break this channel here on the H1. Okay, if I see that here we made a higher top, then it's a lower top, and then we see that the market starting to I don't know, probably doing some triangle. I will probably check if the market can break below. Okay, and then it will indicate a lot of sign of a weekend dollar in the long term, because actually in the short term we are still in a big uptrend. So again, try to be careful to this zone. Of course, the next zone that's going to be touched will be this one just below. Okay, so this is very also I think for people that want to go short in the dollar, the next zone, you have like two zones. You have this one that is the 99.500, and you have the second one that is actually this line here that is 99.150. Okay, so you have actually two levels to take care if you want to shell on the bottom side in order to take some profit at that zone here and here. Still, on the daily, there is a big uptrend channel. So you have to be careful. Even we don't want to go long here and we want to open a short, you have to be careful with the short. Okay, you don't want to trading against the trend when you have a daily chart that only rising from May 21 here. Okay. So this is the first indication on the dollar index. You see, we probably see again. I like this type of consolidation, market structure, and then going down below very quickly. Okay, that's what actually we see on the H1 after this big supply that created. There is actually multiple actually testing this zone here. If I go to the M15. The market is testing this zone. You see, it's actually react multiple times on this supply, break it above. Here we had one test, second test, three tests, and then here we open a gap below. We close the gap, and we're actually testing this zone. I still believe that the market going to be done to this level here. We already closed the gap. So this is nice. Again, I want to ask you a question. It's not going to be talking about the dollar, but I want to understand if most of you guys understand the context that we are trading the market today. You see that oil. I will just show you the market of the graph of oil. Okay, so here it's okay, so this is the oil chart. We see last week that we had that the price of oil get below the 100 zone. That is generally a big psychological zone. Okay, when we reach above 100, so okay, we are above 100, and when we are below, it's already give us a nice indication. Okay, 100 is like a milestone for oil. Actually, we get below again. Even we find today some type of support here on the H1. We actually break below the 100 here. Okay, you see. Let me show you even better. Okay, and on oil, I like to see the supply and demand equilibrium, let's say, and something may happen actually on oil. I want to know, guys, if you might have an idea why from let's say from here or here the market break below the 100. If there is a fundamental way and fundamental explanation to why actually oil is going down, there might be several explanations. So let's try to answer this together. Okay, if there is some people on the chat that know that, or even we see on a technical analysis that the market is on the downtrend from here. Okay, all the time we see the market making a lower low, a lower high. Okay, so we have this high, we have again this high, and here, and so on. So we see the market is on a downtrend according to the market structure. Do you have an idea why the market from let's say beginning of April starting to go down and reaching below 100? Is one of you guys have an idea? Let's try to answer on the chat. No, nothing. Okay. Have no idea. We trade the trend line. So yeah, I want to talk not about the technical way of why the oil is going down, but more fundamental. Daniel is telling us the US announced they will release oil reserves. Yeah, that might be an explanation, but not the exact one. Generally, when oil is going down, the main aspect of why oil is going down is generally the supply and the demand equilibrium. Like I said, China, okay, is one of the biggest consumer of oil in the world. They import a lot from Russia, from some Middle East country like Emirates or Saudi Arabia that have a lot of oil, and also from US. Okay, so when China, that is a big country of that consume a lot of oil, according to the transportation, China will drive the price of oil down or up according to the consumption of the reserves. Okay, China, according to the COVID situation, they have a politic, let's say, a strategy of no COVID. Okay, they don't want, at least, you know, in Europe and in UK as well, we actually starting and trying to live with the COVID. So people still don't wear a mask, go to work, and if they sick, they will stay like 2 or 3 days at home, and then go back again and you know, use their car and use some oil. China don't want this. China, when there is an increase in COVID, they will put in lockdown their population. And actually the market of oil and all the investors believe, and that's why here we have, like, if we can speculate on oil, that China will maybe start a lockdown. And if they start a lockdown, there will be less consumption of oil. And that's probably one of the explanation of why actually we see a little bit, not from here, because here it was maybe only a most biggest way to understand why oil is going down, but maybe from this high or this high, okay, it's actually enhance the downtrend. Okay, when we have some news or article that we see that China might be entering a new lockdown restrictions, okay, that's lead us to understand that there will be less consumption of oil, and then the market going down. Okay, so that's one of the explanation, that this is always good to understand a fundamental way of oil prices moving. Okay, if you go back 20, 30 years, 40 years ago, there wasn't some charts. Okay, you were only look at the price here. But yeah, definitely we see on the oil that we stand in a big demand zone. This is, of course, something that we couldn't neglect here. Okay, we should take care of this zone here on the oil, even the market going down. And this will also lead us some opportunity on the way of the CAD, that is that we know, guys, is affected by oil correlatively. So that's why that's one of the explanation regarding the US, and they will release all reserves. Generally, I would say the opposite. Okay, if there is more stocks, okay, so the market going down. actually they want to sell. Okay, so if there is less reserve in US, the price should go up according to the understanding of the demand supply, of the physical supply demand. Okay, so if US will sell some oil and there will be less oil available in the market, the oil should go up. So that's why actually I probably don't go with your way, Daniel, here. US actually has the biggest reserves now. Yeah, that's correct. Actually, US was oil dependent from Russia and Middle East country. And actually, they have one of the biggest reserves. So they are autonomous, talking about oil. Okay, so that was one shortcut talking about oil. I like to talk about commodities, guys, especially oil, gold and silver as well, but it's less exciting. You know, it's oil I like because I trade it personally. I trade options on oil. But again, this is for me one of the most, let's say, sexy market. A lot of people get interested in trading oil. I want to move to the euro pairs because we had yesterday the election in France that affect the euro. For people that follow a little bit politics, generally when we have an election, the pairs that will affect will move according to what's happening and what it's telling us. Let's check what's happened on the euro today. We see, okay, new share. Let's go. Okay. All right. So we see this morning that the dollar is starting to get a little bit weaker, and the euro will probably also starting to push a little bit. I believe that the euro dollar is already starting to move up. That's what we see. 1.0915 already a push on the euro dollar. I just want to get rid of the line. Then you will check a bit before. It's going to be easier for you to understand. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, we had this huge demand on the H4 chart and also on the daily. You see it even better here. This is one of the main spot that we could get interest for this week. Okay, so check this zone for the following week. Again, there is the zone. So actually we are, you know, I like all the time being at the extreme zone to open a position. Actually, we are at the extreme. The price already pushed up a bit. Okay, so might be not the best spot to enter, but still a good opportunity to go on the long side here. I have multiple indication also. I have my stochastics that cross below 20. Okay, that's one of indication that moving average already starting to return. So this is one of indication, and the second indication is my Bollinger Bands here. You know, that touch actually the 20 standard deviation that also might give me an indication that the market can retrace. Okay, so this is on the indication. If I go to the lower time frame here on the H4, he already the stochastics cross this morning. We see that the market opening a gap this morning. I don't know if you see that as well, but the market opened actually here, closed the gap, and then pushed up. That's exactly the same scenario we see on the dollar index at the beginning of the session. On the M30, this is something like that. This type of scenario happens a lot on the stock market when the market opens on a gap, and you have like a push down from here. Generally, it will close the gap. Okay, and this is exactly what's happened. So we have two zones that we may take care of. This is this zone on the M30 and the lower time frame. If I look at the lower time frame, I should look for this zone. Okay, this is the first zone. If I go to the higher time frame, I should put an objective for a lower entry. I got stopped on that gap at the break even. Yeah, I understand. If you put a stop loss, yeah, it's also good for understand for people that put a sell, let's say here, you know, at let's say last week, and they put a stop loss. This is like a good example. Thank you, Isaac, for providing me this this type of example. But if you open a sell position here and you put a stop loss here, and the market open today here, you will get like 20 pips moment here. Yeah, 25 pips stop loss that you didn't expect. Okay. Again, that's why you should be focusing on what's happening on the fundamental and what's happening on the politic. This gap especially is because of the French election. I'm French, so I a bit understand the politic of Macron, that actually the president of France, and Le Pen. And actually Macron finished like with a 29% on the first step, and Le Pen has a 24%. So Macron actually is actually the president, and want to go back again for 5 years, president, let's say, leading the country. And Macron, we know this president to be like for the euro economy, always increasing the euro. He want like a Europe and a euro together. So it's that's why we see that the euro is starting to get a little bit stronger this morning. These guys, let's learn these guys. Emmanuel Macron, that is actually the president of France, want to open economy. Okay, so when you want to open economy, you want an increase of transaction between country, and that's why actually we see the euro pushing up on the morning. So that's something we could expect. Okay, because Macron also, before we release the results, was leading the poll of the election. So yeah, if you didn't know about that, you should take care. And there will be the second stage of the election next Sunday. Okay, so next Sunday, again, you should be aware. So next Sunday, let's say Friday, you should diminish your position, because a gap like that can happen again if there is a surprise. Let's say if Le Pen and not Macron got to the presidency, this could affect the euro. Okay, definitely. So I hope you understand actually the context here on the euro dollar, and I think it might be the same on all the euro pairs. If I see the euro pound, for example, okay, that's approximately the same. We open also on a gap up. Okay, and here we didn't close the gap, but still we make a large drop. Okay, because I don't know how much gap here. It's still yeah, here it's 40 pips approximately. We go down 20 pips, we turn. A scenario that we see a lot in stocks, but also in Forex, like we see here. I see that Michael, that joined us recently, talked about some gap scenario on one of his webinars. So yeah, take care of that. The euro is moving because there is election in France. That's it. If you have some question about that, let me know in the chat. But yeah, this is something we should take care, and following during the week if you have surprising new poll. Anyway. Yeah, he also was a nice indication on the lower time frame. You see the gap open here. Actually, the market respect the high of this morning. Okay, you see the market open here. For people that scalp here, not a bad short here, definitely. Bye, Lumi. Thank you for being with us. And this might be a buy here, for example, on the short term. Anyway, that was interesting for the euro dollar here. I won't talk about the yen. The yen already pushed on the upside after we see a short retracement last week. Okay, so this is the chart. This is quite amazing on the daily chart on the dollar yen. Okay, we have this ascending channel. We break it like far away to the 125. Last week we see this top created here that respect to that zone, and then the market is still continuing to pushing up. Yeah, this is quite amazing. Again, I don't want to get catch here on a buy. Like the trend already started. You know, I don't want to be the last guy to buy. Even it's completely bullish, buying here will not be the best solution, but buying here, according to the situation, why not? You should wait for any retracement if you want to open a buy with the dollar yen. That's how I think generally. For people that have a broader, a wide, let's say a wide analysis of the dollar yen, you see on the monthly, I repeat again, and I show this week after week, we are in a zone that till 2016 and 27 and 22, we didn't cross above the price here, and we still like to the top, for example, of this one. So that's why you should be careful if you open a buy. Even if you open a short, try to adapt your risk management according to your role. That's one of the main advice I can give you on the dollar yen. It's very volatile, so try to be careful here. Yeah, a little bit late, Isaac. I agree with you here. Buying long here is not maybe the best way. Here, why not? Maybe it was a FIBO. Maybe it was a FIBO level here. Maybe the 20 points. Do invert here? Let me check. Insert. Achieve retracements. Wait, I don't know why I told the FIBO is not opening properly. Never mind, but it might be like the 20, 23 or 27 FIBO level here. Yeah, EURJPY as well. EURJPY can be nice according to what we see on the election on France, and we know that the yen is very bearish. Okay, the yen is very weak recently, so why not opening a buy on EURJPY? That's a nice. That's even better than opening a buy here. Let's check that. Yeah, we see here it moved way faster than the dollar yen. But again, we have to be careful on the H1. We have this huge zone on the H1. So again, careful is the word for the yen pairs here. We are still also on the monthly. I don't know if I want to do anything on the yen. Maybe there is another pair that can be interesting. Maybe the CAD yen. Yeah, we are approaching on all the yen pairs. We are approaching a monthly and yearly resistance level of supply. So that's why I want to put it aside, check how the price behave, and then making an action. Dollar looking very bullish at the moment. Yeah, I agree. We see on the dollar index that the dollar from already 1 year pushing up and pushing up. Also, we have the bonds last week that push to increase the value of the dollar. So again, the dollar on the dollar index, we are still also in the also the inflation is still rising. And the dollar will still be on edge for inflation. So, you know, it's okay. So okay, here the gold. It's also interesting. We had multiple opportunity last week to reinforce our buying position. For people that still expect that the gold will break new high. This is, let's say, the extreme zone, the hourly zone, right? This one that we expect a lot of time. You see those pin bars here. You see touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, didn't break below. Here, if you know to manage value risk management, you put the stop loss just below this low here to that zone, and you let the buy going up. That's amazing. That was the range for last week already. Okay, you see that the market range, even for more than 1 week, almost 2 weeks here, the market make this type of consolidation, market structure, boom, break it above. Again, classic movement on the way. And on the daily chart, it looks very bullish. Okay, this is for gold. It's look completely bullish to reach again the new high at 2050 here. That's nice. That's nice movement. Okay, any other question, guys? Maybe a pair that you want to review or talking about any subject that you may have some questions, some remarks. Some questions as well. Talking about the CHF pairs, for people that trade with us at the 5ers, we you know, we actually reduce the margin for some accounts, not all the accounts, but we reduce for, let's say, the bootcamp and for the instant funding. The margin was high for CHF. We might understand that the CHF may be a little bit stable, so we will continue to lower gradually the CHF margin requirements. Okay. View on GBP. Yeah, I didn't talk about GBP today. That's interesting. Very bearish on the daily. Okay, we have this channel that's still rising. We're actually at the extreme. We have this on the H4. Okay, even here making a buy may be difficult. Same for the euro dollar. We are, for me, at an extreme zone. The stop loss can be very tight. There is nothing for me to open the short here. Again, opening a buy will not be so bad according to the risk management you can have. The risk reward can be very high. So yeah, you should. This for me again, the main zone for this week. If I go to the lower time frame, yeah, still this is difficult when you go to the H1. It's still very difficult. we had here this multiple with this support that react all the way Thursday and Friday last week, and then break below, making a double bottom here. Not looking so good, actually. Not generally. I don't know. The pound is not looking so good against the dollar, even on the daily. On the weekly, definitely is not looking good. The daily as well, not looking good. And lower time frame as well. Okay, you see on the lower time frame, like on M30, you have like 3 types of levels. I like talking about levels as well. You have like the first level here, you have the second level here. You see that the market is all the time gradually getting down. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, we should look what's going on the dollar index as well. Yeah, that actually the dollar index is testing the gap that we talked a little bit earlier. So I just want to show you. Okay, so we talked earlier that the market was testing this zone on the 15-minute chart, actually the zone of the gap. You see, gap here again, and we test actually this zone. The market is actually pushing a little bit up here. We didn't talk about capital markets as well. I want to give you a last short analysis on the S&P and on the QQQ Nasdaq as well. But I think that Yaniv, Saul, and Michael probably already talked a little bit about capital market last week. It looks like the market found the top here, getting down. I still believe that there is a last chance for the market to get saved by this demand on the H4. Okay, but if actually the market is actually testing this zone. If we break below this one, I chance that we go all the way below, go back to the 5,290 zone here. Okay, so we have to check very. We have to be very careful today, checking this zone and also the following week. If this zone is strong, okay, we might again see a higher push in the capital markets, and it will also give us an indication on the dollar, give us an indication on the gold. But here it looks like this is a dimension that we should look for this week. Again, for me, there is no like any way. I don't know, guy, if you like to open a sell position on that side. Personally, I don't want to. If I do something here on the indices, it only will be on the upside from here. Okay, my stop loss would be very tight, and I would go pushing for again the 5,500 zone, 500, 5,560, 590 as well here on the supply. This is the only scenario I see actually. The market can get down, but I don't want to be selling here. If I was selling, I would probably selling at the black line. You see, it was a support breakout below, making multiple retests here on the H1. Okay, this was a key zone for last week as well. 5,520. Exactly here was the key zone for last week. And actually make a retest. Actually, making a sale is not for me the right strategy. If you're a day trader, if you're a swing or you focus on the long term, the mindset and the view will be different. Let's talk about the VIX as well, VIX. If you know, guys, I also like to show the VIX that gives us the fear on the market. This is the daily. Actually, the market again react to that, still pushing. Yeah, we might see a push a little bit again to the 2027 maybe here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the VIX going back to the 27 zone. But for that, we should we should monitor the S&P and the QQQ. Okay, we will see the VIX going up if the S&P will break again to the zone I just showed you earlier. Okay, guys, any last questions on the chat? Maybe question about the market, question about fundamentals, question about also the programs. If you have some questions, again, I still invite you, if you have some questions about the programs, to go and ask our help desk. But you know, if you have some questions at the end of the session, I would always be happy to answer your questions. So let me know. I just don't want to spoil. I know that there was still a lot of questions talking about the freestyle program. We will be coming with new updates. I won't tell more, but it's going to be update on this week. So guys, be ready for new things on the freestyle. We take a lot of feedbacks from you. So this is nice to tell. So once, can you explain the 10-1 on treasury? Yeah, of course. Okay, let me check that. Okay, so bonds actually is affecting currencies. Okay, this is one of the main aspects, and I don't know exactly the connection between the two. Generally, when the bonds actually, we see like there was a big movement in the bonds the last week, and it's still continuing on the downside. I didn't trade bonds, but generally bonds, when you hold them, okay, it's increasing value. So when you hold some bonds, so when bonds actually is losing some value in dollar, for example, the dollar will still get stronger. It looks like actually the bonds crossed. Look at the chart here. This was the 10-year hills here that just crossed below below a weekly demand. Yeah, this is quite huge here. Like till from 2015, we don't have any more data below. Before that, the US 10-year government bonds, it's already same time. Okay, I look at the opposite chart. Okay, it's actually it's more sense. Okay, actually the bonds getting some value. Okay, so the bonds that you will hold, okay, will get more value. So that's why probably the dollar index is still continue rising. If I put the chart of the dollar index, we might see the same movement. See the correlation. No, never mind. Maybe I can open another. It started to move then from May, July 21. Okay. I might get it. Okay, May, July, probably here. That what we see here on May, July, it's what we see here on the dollar index, and then only pushing up from here. Okay, so we have a wide positive correlation between the bonds and the dollar index. Of course, the correlation will not affect on the short time frame because the bonds is a 10-year yield. So you see it's moved like very few percentage each day, so it will not affect directly each day. But again, we see that the bond is still rising. I believe that it's rising against inflation. Okay, people want to get some value on their money. They don't want to let their money dying into the bank account. They want to invest anywhere, and bonds is one of the passive investment that you can have. And that's what we see here also on the dollar index. There is a connection between the two. Okay, if you want like more explanation, Nitesh, on the bonds and dollar index, I think that recently we talk a lot about that. It's not my my main focus, but I think you will understand a little bit more if you read some article on investing.com or Reuters, for example. I like especially this website that gives us a lot of indication. You see, friends, magnitude of penny strong gold. That's what we talked about the euro earlier. So try to still focus on the French presidential vote. Okay. I cannot check actually, but you might see here some article talking about the yield. All right. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoy a little bit. It was a lot of interesting subjects and okay, never mind. The camera was just turned down. Anyway, just wait. Will it come back? It will not. Okay, so thank you guys for being with me. I highly appreciate. I hope you get some feedbacks and some view that I already share. If we want to make a short summary, the first thing to look at is the French election that will affect highly the euro this week. Okay, and also next Sunday, that will be the last decision of the, let's say that we will know who will be the next leader and president of France. The second is to still monitor the dollar index according to the bonds. This will also lead us to to understand even deeper what type of opportunity we can get on the market. And lastly, the yen. Okay, the yen is pushing highly. Let's say the yen is pushing very sharply on the upside. So this means the yen is getting weaker. So you have to focus on the monthly chart on the yen, getting what's going on, if it's created any new market structure, for example. And then only when you have a clear indication, a clear signal making an action on the market, but actually try to be focusing. I repeat, French election, not the first one. The second one will be dollar index that we should monitor this week. And the last thing will be the yen. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoy. See you tomorrow, guys, with probably Saul or Yaniv. And we stay in touch. A lot of new good news will be coming in the 5ers very soon. So wish you a nice week. Take care of you guys and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.